Hey, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. If you happen to catch this video live, let me know you are catching me live. Drop a heart in the comments for me. Okay. If you happen to catch this on the replay, that's cool. Drop a thumbs up in the comments if you happen to catch this on the replay. So, welcome to Travel Tip Tuesday. I have not done a live Travel Tip Tuesday in a while, but this one is important. This one I need to make sure that people hear me and not just see the post. Okay, so Travel with MJ's number one asked question when it comes to cruises, y'all. I'm very, very happy and very, very honored that people who learn that I am a travel professional feel comfortable enough to ask me this question. But the number one question that I get when it comes to cruising is, do I need a passport? Okay. Do I need a passport to cruise? Okay. And as simple as I want to put it, it's not always that simple, but it does depend on how you're cruising, if that makes sense. Okay. So if you are doing a closed loop cruise, meaning you are leaving and returning to the same U.S. port, it's important to talk about this is what happens in the United States. Then you do not need, let me say it again. If you are doing a closed loop cruise, which is a cruise that leaves and returns to the same United States port, you do not need a passport. Okay. Should you desire to get a passport? Yes. Because in the case that something happens while you are abroad, it's going to be very easy for you to get home with a passport versus your birth certificate and your driver's license. Okay. It's going to be a whole lot easier and simpler for you to be able to get flown home from, let's say, Mexico. Excuse me. Say Mexico. Okay. Having that passport is great, but is not required if you are doing a closed loop cruise from the United States. Okay. Now, when we get into the topic of repositioning cruises, then you will need a passport. Okay. Repositioning cruises are the complete opposite of a closed loop cruise. Repositioning cruises is where a cruise ship is leaving one port and making its home into another port. Okay. That will require you to have a passport because you are traveling many different places on this repositioning cruise. Okay. So you will need your passport in order to board that repositioning cruise. Okay. So don't get hung up on, do I need a passport? Do I need a passport? If you are doing closed loop within the United States, no, you do not need a passport. Okay. Repositioning, which are longer cruises, you will need a passport because 9 times out of 10, that repositioning cruise is not going to come back to the same U.S. city that it left. So if there's a repositioning cruise that's going from Miami to San Juan, there we go. From Miami to San Juan, there's going to be a number of stops in between Miami and San Juan that will require you to need your passport. Okay. Now, while San Juan is a U.S. territory because that is Puerto Rico, okay, you will still need your passport because you're going to be visiting outside countries on that repositioning cruise over to San Juan. Okay. Now, if you are leaving and returning to Miami, okay, you go out and you have your big fun, but your cruise ship is docking back in Miami. That is a closed loop cruise. You do not need a passport. And the reason why I'm emphasizing you don't need a passport is not required for you to get on the ship. Okay. It is handy. It is great to have in case of emergency, but it is not required for you to get on a cruise in the United States. Now, if you are not leaving out of the United States and you have to fly to an international port, let's just say you are wanting to take a 7-night cruise that leaves out of Greece. You're going to need that passport because you got to fly from wherever you are to Greece. Okay. This is why I said a closed loop cruise in the United States. Okay. So make sure that you are aware that closed loop cruises in the United States is not necessarily required for you to have a passport, but you would want to have it in case of emergency, in case something happens. It's not a dire need. So if you don't have the $165 to invest in a passport book, but you want to get on a cruise, that's going to be the fastest way for you to get out of the country without needing a passport. Because if you are flying out of the country, you will absolutely need a passport. Then it is required. Okay? So, all that to say, if you're doing a closed loop cruise within the USA, you don't need a passport. If you are doing a repositioning cruise, which is leaving one port, go into another port, you will need a passport because you will be visiting other destinations on your way. If you are doing a cruise that requires you to fly from the United States to any other country, you will need a passport because anytime you are flying, you need a passport. Okay? So I do hope that this answered any questions over cruising and passports, which is literally the number one question that we get asked about when it comes to cruising is, do we need a passport? We hope that this video helped you. If you like videos like this, please follow me here at Miriam Jackson. You can also follow me at Travel with MJ. You can also subscribe to my email list at travelwithmj.net. And we look forward to see you in our next live video. Bye.